What up, my people, and welcome back to Let's Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Dustin Calloway. What's going on, my people? What's going on? So before we start this video, I would like to ask you all to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. My last video, it didn't go where I wanted it to go. I don't know what happened with the algorithm. I don't know what's going on, but you know what it is. It really don't matter. I'm not going to stop doing what I do. And I'm gonna keep on pushing these things out. But it's something I'm changing up this week. I'm not gonna go ahead and go live on Instagram. I'm just gonna go straight out. And I'll go back to my old format of how I was doing things before. So before we get started, what I want to ask you all to do is, please, if you can't finish this video today, you don't have to watch me. You don't have to see me in the camera. You don't have to see me on your screen. Just listen to what I got to say. So if you get a chance, if you can't finish it up today, go back and just finish it up, while you're working out at the house, cleaning up. Sorry. Working on the car, throw an earbud in or put it on the Bluetooth. And just listen through it all the way through. Listen to it all the way through. I'm sorry. Okay. But to get into this episode today, I want to talk about something that really, it really bothers me. And I know I talk a lot about different relationships and stuff like that on my podcast. I talk about many different things, men, women, and how we should be treating each other and all kinds of stuff like that. But today's episode is pretty special to me because I'm actually going off of something that I watch. I watch on the regular. It's a podcast called it was a talk show called 5150. The 5150 show was Corey Holcomb's show. And on the last week's episode, this week's episode, he had Willie D on there from, the rapper from back in the days. And he said something crazy to me that jumped out. And it really kind of hit me a little bit because I kind of see this. I've seen this a lot growing up, So the title of today's episode is going to be called "Don't Be a Slave to Men." And this is for all my women out there that fit into what I'm going to be talking about today. So to go back to the episode of the 5150 show, something popped out at me that Willie D said, and it's something that I always hear Corey Holcomb always kind of talk about. And Willie D said men need to get back to being providers for women. And it kind of hit me a little bit. I'm like, okay, talk about it a little bit more, right? So he was basically talking about how we need to get back to taking care of women. I'm like, okay. And what kind of way, though? What kind of way? And what I got from it was we need to get back to taking care of them and providing everything for them. So that's where I had to pump the fucking brakes. I had to pump the brakes because I was like, you want us to get back to providing everything for them, right? Like I'm talking about everything, like taking care of them financially, just doing everything for women. And basically, they want the women to go back home and just sit down and just be women like y'all used to be back in the days. I got a problem with that old man way of thinking. I do. I have a problem with that. And the reason why I have the main reason why I have a problem with that is because I have more respect for women. I don't just look at women like, hey, you need to go take care of this and sit your ass down and let men go be men and we're going to do whatever we want to go do, but you can't do anything. So yeah, I got an issue with that old man way of thinking. I really do. I really don't agree with that old man way of thinking, man. It kind of reminds me of the old school TV shows back in the days, you know what I'm saying? And I don't agree with it, man. So my question is, what are women supposed to do with their lives if we go back to being the providers, right? What do they do? What do they get to do with their lives? If we go back to bringing home all the money, you don't do shit, you just sit down. What are they supposed to do with their lives? Do you want them to go back to sitting on the couch, sitting in the house, cooking, washing clothes, cleaning up, taking care of the kids? Is that the whole idea? You want them to go back to doing that again? You want them to really go back to doing that. Do you want them to have a life of their own, or the life that you decide she's supposed to have? Do you? Because it seems like to me that old man way of thinking, it came from somewhere. It came from some fucking where. I just don't get that old man way of thinking. Women's supposed to sit at home and take care of the house and the kids, and we just go out there and work, and we bring home all the bread, but they can't have shit for themselves. That's amazing to me. That shit, I don't agree with that. So, do you not want women doctors? You want or just want it to be all men in there, just doctoring up people? Huh? You want that? Or you want all women to go back, you just want the women to go back to being a nurse? They can't be doctors. You want them to go be a nurse. Doctors bring home bread, bruh. So you still want us to be the 100% providers? Even though, my wife may be a doctor and I may work at a factory. You still want me to be the provider though, right? Just, she can keep all her doctor money, even though she make double what I make. She can just, I'm still the provider, baby. You don't do nothing. You don't do nothing. Do you not want any women to be lawyers? They can't be lawyers? No, just let the men get in the room and decide, make all the decisions and do all that? Is that what we're doing? Do you not want women construction workers? Because what? Men strong, we strong. Women can't do what we do. They can't pick up a bag of sand. They can't dig a hole with a shovel. They can't operate a machine that digs a hole with a shovel. Is that what y'all want to do? Is that what we want them to go back to? No cops, no female cops, factory workers, tow truck drivers, or stockbrokers. You don't want women to do none of that shit, right? Because this is a man thing. We need to get back to being providers, right? And I know some people may listen and, they may say, no, you twisting up his words. You twisting up his words. I know exactly what the fuck it means when somebody say, we need to get back to being providers. I know what that shit means. Trust me, I grew up in a household where I watched my dad do that type of shit. Yeah. Did my mom work? Yeah, she worked. But my dad had the mentality of the provider shit going on, where it was, I'm going to take care of all of this, and you could just do this little bit. Where, really, if we help each other out on both ends, where we can both make sure that we both have something left over at the end of the day, and not just her, and she can go out there and do whatever she need to do, and we can support each other, maybe we'd be a little bit more happier, right? But nah, we need to get back to being the providers, right? I know what I'm talking about, man. How about instead of men telling other men what the fuck we need to do for women, how about we ask the women what they want to do for themselves? How about we ask that? What do you want to do for yourself? We treat women like they can't make fucking decisions for themselves. That shit blows my fucking mind. We treat women like they don't know, they don't have a fucking clue. We treat them like they just walking in the dark, just I don't know what I want to be. I don't know what I want to do for my life. A man got to make that decision for me. You know how silly that shit sounds? We make it seem like women don't have a fucking clue about life. They don't have a clue. Before we told them what to do, women wasn't trying to do shit. It was us. We made all of the decisions for them. That shit is amazing to me, man. It's amazing to me. It's amazing. The world has a twisted way of making you believe stupid shit. Think about it, man. The world, all this shit, man. And not to even, fuck that. I'm not going to hold myself back. So when I look at just different cultures, right? It's just it seemed like to me when I look at a lot of these different cultures from around the whole entire world, I always see a male dominated, type of culture. One culture that kind of blows my mind a little bit. And this was actually brought up on an episode of Speedy's, it's called Rollout with Speedy and Friends. This is another podcast that I watch. Or I think it's called Speedy and Friends, but it's Jamie Foxx's best friend, Speedy. And he brought up a conversation that, he brought up a situation that happened with him, right? And it was a female. And I want to say she was a Arab woman or something like that. And she lives in his neighborhood, right? And, she was outside one day, and he was outside, and her kid was riding a bike, and he said that the kid kept falling off the bike, right? So he saw the kid kept falling off, and he knew how to solve the problem, right? He was like, oh, I don't know why he keep falling off, because this is wrong with the bike. So he goes over to the lady and said, hey, excuse me, I noticed that your son keep falling off the bike. Look, this is why, because his bike is like this. She said, okay, I'll let the men know. I'll let the men know. Okay, that's cool. And he said that ever since that day, that lady never walked or looked his way ever again. And that kind of blew me away a little bit. And the reason why I say it blew me away a little bit is because I know the culture that he's talking about, right? I just don't agree with that culture. I don't agree with any culture that treats an individual like a slave. I just don't agree with it. Because at the end of the day, it's kind of like you're taking somebody's life away from them. You are taking who that person, you're taking the free will away from them. You're taking the freedom that lives in here away from them. When they feel like they can't even like a woman walking down the street, she can't even have another interaction with a man, harmless interaction with a man, out of fear of what the men in her village would think or whatever. Get that bullshit out of here. Get that bullshit out of here. So you got that kind of culture. I just don't agree with it. I'm sorry. Like, I will never, ever agree with a culture that makes someone feel like they're a fucking slave. And that's what I got from what Speedy went through with that lady. Like, it's the men. She's ruled, ran in their culture by men. They can't even be free. And then I would watch some YouTube videos and shit. And I see these YouTube videos in these other countries where they be stoning women and shit. They make them come outside and they can't they can't even show their face to the world. They got to cover up their whole body. I'm sorry, but that is fucking slavery to me. Yeah, I get it. It's part of our culture. This is what we do in our culture. Look, did you ask her how she felt about it, or was she just born into that culture and forced to live like that? Answer this question. A kid born in that culture, right, where they got to cover themselves up, right? A child born into that culture. If you didn't teach or plant that shit into that kid's head, would they, and they just had free will, right, to grow up and be whoever the fuck they wanted to be, do you think they would choose to do that? What is any child, if you look at any child, just at a young age, when they just roam around the house doing shit and you always yelling at them, why are they just doing anything? Because they feel free, right? Until we teach them boundaries, right? Don't do this, don't put your hand in that candle because it's hot, it'll burn the shit out of you. But if you don't tell them that, they'll just go do it, right? So, do you think that if they had a choice to be free or fall into that culture because it's the normal thing to do for them, because somebody in that culture a long, long time ago said, this is what we need to be telling our women to do. Do you think that that child would choose that or freedom? I believe they would choose freedom, because a lot of those women that I see like that, they look afraid all the time. They always look like they got some shit on their damn mind that they can never get off their mind. That kind of lifestyle, I can see the struggle in you. Why be a fucking slave? Why be a slave, man? Free your fucking self, for real. And again, like I said, this world has a twisted way of making you believe bullshit. Like, you're born free. And if you gotta die for it, you just have to die for it. But you're born free. No one runs you. No one controls you. Yeah, they make rules and laws and shit like that. If you cross the line, you'll go to jail. Okay, follow those little bitty rules. And if they got some rules in the area where you live where it's just like unbearable, get your shit and leave. Pack your shit and get the fuck out of there. Find a way out. Do not just give up and just throw your life away and say, I'm going to be a slave to this man ran society because this is just the way to do it. And I'm going to tuck my head and just, no, you don't do that shit, man. Women can think for themselves. That's the bottom fucking line. When I talk about this stuff, I'm trying to free those minds. I'm trying to free the minds, man, because a lot of women just sit back and just take this shit, and it just kills me every single day. And again, I'm fighting again, and I'm talking about this again, and I always try to wake women up because I have daughters, and I'll be damned if my daughters, if either one of my daughters are I'm hoping they don't grow up to let some man run their lives. No, that shit don't work out right. That shit don't sit right with me. So that's why I work so hard and I push so hard on these videos to try to help women wake up. You know, and don't get me wrong, I got some stuff coming for the men too, but women, man, I gotta wake y'all up, man. Free yourselves. Don't be a fucking slave to no one. Do y'all think this feminist movement came out of nowhere? Do y'all really think it came out of nowhere? And then don't let a man get behind the women and support them. Oh, you a bitch. You don't have a backbone. You just gonna let women run over shit. So what? So what if it's a woman president? So what if it's if you got I know a lot of y'all got a female boss at work. What you gonna do? You're gonna go complain to all the men because you got a female boss telling you what to do? This shit is sad, man. We've been running shit for too long. We've been running shit for a long time. And I'm not saying that men need to lay down and just let women take over everything. No, we need to make that shit even. Make it fair. Let them be who they want to be. Like, don't be trying to trick women with that bullshit and making them feel like they can just go home and let us be providers. We've been running this shit for long enough. We've been fucking up the world for long enough. We have been. All men want to do is go to war. All we want to do is fight with each other. Go fucking crazy on each other. Who always seems to balance us out when we come home and we have a fucked up day? Who always seems to balance us out? Our women. They balance us out, right? But if you think that's all they good for is just fucking, when we come home, I need you to just cook me some food, balance me out because I just had a bad day at work. No, you ain't the only one to have fucking bad days. I've been sitting back for years watching just how bad women have been treated. And shit, I'm not trying to say that I'm innocent in it. Hell no, I'm not innocent, because I was one of those people that used to do the shit. I saw a lot of shit on certain TV shows growing up. The same pattern. Stay-at-home mom that always agreed with her husband. Cutaway scene. She's in the bedroom talking to herself, right? She's saying everything that she wanted to say to her husband, but did not fear of his reaction. I know y'all seen it on plenty of those TV shows back in the days. It's that programming shit, right? They try to program women to believe, and men to believe, that this is how shit is supposed to work. I go to work, I provide everything, you sit at home and you clean up this motherfucker and take care of the kids and you feed us. No. What type of life is that? What type of goddamn life is that? I need somebody to really explain that to me. What type of life is that? This is why I disagree with that old man way of thinking. I'll never ever align myself with that type of thinking. And the reason why I say that is because let's reverse the roles. Imagine being in a position where you have to be quiet and you can never have an opinion because you aren't the provider. Just imagine being in that position. You can't say shit. You got to sit at home because I'm the provider. I run all this shit. I pay all the bills in this motherfucker. You can't say shit. Because that's how a lot of dudes I know that are providers, they run their house like that. They run their fucking house like they are the only one that can have a voice in the house, and you better not say shit. Trust me, I know a few of them. Every time I see their wife look like they in slave mode. They always fucking agreeing with what that motherfucker say. I just be like, God damn, do you have a brain of your own? Can you think for yourself? No, but that's that little shit that they get sucked into, right? When they become the slave to the provider man. You become the slave to the provider, man, where you get to a point where you don't even speak up. You may have an opinion on something that we may be talking about in a fucking group conversation, but you never, ever speak up because you're getting trapped up in that slave shit, right? That provider shit. Like, nah, don't get caught up in that shit. You could be whatever the fuck you want to be. You can have a voice. So to go back. No, I'm not. I'm not done yet, okay? So to go back, that kid, man. So to go back again, let's reverse the roles. Imagine being in a position where you can never have an opinion about anything because you are not the provider. Your wife wants you to stay at home and do nothing. Even though you got all these big ass dreams of, I want to do this. I want to go to school and I want to pursue this dream. I want to go here and I want to become a nurse. I want to do this, or I want to become an engineer, or damn, I want to work in I want to be a stockbroker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to do all this shit, but I can't because my wife wants me to stay at home and take care of the house and the kids and everything because she's the provider. So I got to go do all that shit, you know? Damn. And I know some people in those positions. Now, again, let me go back because this does not apply to the people that they okay with that. Because some people are okay with that life. And there are others who aren't okay with it, but they just agree with the shit. They just go along with it, right? Because it just feels right, right? It just feels right. So again, you say fuck it, and you put everything that you wanted for yourself on the back burner. I'm going to just do what he wants me to do or what she wants me to do, right? Fast forward, you're 40 years old and miserable. By the age of 47 to 50, all of your kids are grown and they out the house on their own, doing their own thing. Now it's just you and your husband in the house alone. He's still working and you still sitting in the house. Your whole life passed you by. Now you got to sit there in depression because you realize that you didn't do anything you wanted to do with your life. Now what you gonna do, right? I see this shit happen too often. Too often. I know a couple right now that I can tell this happened to them. I know for a fact that this happened to them. I know this shit for a fact because the wife, she can't even fucking sit still. She can't even sit still. Their kid's grown. They out the house now. She sat home and decided to let the husband take care of be the provider. And I'm gonna shut my business down. I'm gonna stop going to work because this is what you want me to do. All right, I'm gonna do that. She put her whole life on hold. And now she's fucking miserable. Fucking miserable. Can't even stay in the house with the man. Always on the go. Gotta get up and go. Gotta get up and go. I always gotta get up and go. Trying to fucking play catch up because she chose to put her fucking life on hold to be a little slave. When really she should have said no. We gonna figure this shit out together because you get to go out there and you get to have a career for yourself. What about me? I want to go do this, but I can't do shit now. Nah. Look, I'm not against healthy relationships. I'm not at all. I'm against women being put on the back burner for our selfish needs. We need to help out with our children and the home duties, the house duties, just as well. We need to. We should push our women to be successful. We should push our women to pursue their dreams as well. Women were not put here to be fuck vessels just to send our seeds through. And I hate that I have to say that like that because sometimes I sit back and I think about it and I'll be like, damn, when I see some dudes and I talk to some dudes, I'll be like, this is what they really think about women. They really think that shit is okay to just fuck them, send a child through them, and then that's all she's good for. She ain't good for nothing else. We don't push them to pursue their dreams. We don't support them in their dreams or nothing. I see this shit too often. And you know, 9 times out of 10, when I do see a woman start driving to be something else, I really like, man, look, I got many family members, like female family members, And I'll just sit back and I'll be thinking like, damn, who really be there for them to push them to higher levels, to elevate to higher levels? I don't really be seeing no man around. I really don't see no man around pushing them. It literally be them pushing them. And I sit back and I'm like, God damn, that's sad. Because let a dude fall off. Let a dude fall on some hard times. Man, I see women always jumping behind a man and support him and pick him up. Like, you know, we can go back to the conversation that I had about the bum ass baby daddy, or just bum dudes, period. Why is it that I always notice that I see these bum dudes, they always find a girl with something good going on. She always jump behind him and be trying to pick him up. You know, like, you know, some people deserve a second chance, but, you know, but I always see that. But you rarely see, well, I'm gonna speak for myself. I rarely see men jumping behind women that's struggling and pick them up. I rarely see it. I rarely see that shit. Like, I know a lot of dudes, and I've been one of those dudes before myself. If I see a girl, she a bum, she ain't really got shit going on, and I got a little decent job or whatever, man, I'll be like, yeah, I'm cool, I smash, but I ain't finna be letting you just hang up under me because you ain't got nothing going on. Shit. You work at Taco Bell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen that. I've done it before myself. Instead of saying, hey, all right, I see you working at Taco Bell, but what's the bigger plan? What you want to do, you know, going further? You know, what's the plan for the future? Instead of doing that, we just dip off on them. But women are stand behind us and support us. So that's why I'm so for supporting our women. I don't want women to be a slave, or the slaves to us. No, because they deserve a chance to take a shot at whatever it is that we can do. Now, of course, when we talk about basketball, football, sports, and all that stupid shit, of course, a woman can't compete with us because we'll destroy them in sports. But when we're talking about working at a job, stockbroker, lawyer, doctor, teacher, scientist, you name it, women can do all that shit. So why would we send them home so that we can be providers and cut them out of having a chance to do what we do? You silly, man. You silly as shit, dude. We live in different times now, bro. This ain't the fucking old school. This ain't the Great Depression time. This ain't the when daddy go off to war, you sit at home and take care of the kids. I'm out here fighting this fucking war. This ain't those times, man. This is the time now where every woman can get up and get it just like a man can. And who the fuck are we to try to hold them back and tell them, no, you go sit at home and I'm going to be a provider for you and you don't have to pursue shit. What if you die? So what if you, okay, so let me bring up a little scenario, right? So let's just say if you get with your woman, right? And women, y'all listen to this shit that I'm about to say to y'all. What if you get with a man, right? And he says, so what if you get with a man, right? You going to school, right? You 3 years into your motherfucking nursing degree or whatever it is that you need to become a nurse, right? So you meet this man. He say, look, I'm good, baby. I made $122,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? I make $122,000 a year. I don't need you to be going to school no more. Just shut that school shit down, baby. You with me, you know, we good. So you say, cool, you shut your school shit down, right? You stop. You just go home and you let him take care of everything. You move in with him. Y'all get this big ass house, $300,000 house. You know, you paying, you got a 15-year loan. You paying $2,000, $2,500 a month on the house or whatever. Boom, boom, boom. Y'all 2 years into y'all relationship and you got 28 years left. Oh no, you got 13 years left on y'all 15-year loan. He dies. No life insurance. You still got to pay that bill because the house is in both of y'all name now, right? But remember, you shut your life down and you stop pursuing shit, right? You ain't got nothing going on for yourself now because you depended on him and his salary to take care of y'all forever. He died. Oh, y'all ain't get married yet either. So he died. You still got this $300,000 house that y'all only 2 years into payments on that he was paying for because you ain't do shit. You just sat back and let him take care of everything and you just made sure that motherfucker was clean. How are you going to be able to afford it? How are you going to move forward with your life? You shut your life down for 2 years. You didn't do shit for 2 years. And think about it. You were 3 years into your nursing shit. You had a year left. You could have been done with that shit and had a career in nursing. But now you playing catch up and you got to leave that house because you can't pay for it no more, right? So you got to leave the fucking house, and now you're playing catch up with your life because he done fucking died on you. You know how many people, not just men, how many people I know that went to work and worked for 30 years, 35 years, retired from work. Now they on this fixed income because, you know, they retirement shit coming through. They got the game twisted or something, thinking that they was going to be making that they checks was going to be coming and they was going to still be balling out. Nah, think again. I know so many people who done cashed out on their retirement and they retired from work and they went right back to work and got jobs because it just didn't work out the way that they thought it was going to work out. And remember, so now this is another part of that scenario. He didn't die. He just worked for 30 years, 35 years. You didn't work at all for 30, 35 years. And then retirement comes, shut everything down. He ain't getting no overtime no more. He's just getting a straight fixed income check every month. And you and him are supposed to survive off of that forever, right? Until it's over. Y'all supposed to survive off that shit. You ain't got nothing else coming in. What, you waiting on Social Security? See, this is what I'm saying. Women, don't go back to that old style way of living. Build some shit for yourself. Build something for yourself. Don't sit back here waiting on somebody to do something or waiting to find you a man that's going to just shut everything down. I'm going to do this for you. Okay, and if you do, if that's the life that you decide to live and you okay with that, that's cool. But for the ones that don't like that shit, speak up. Speak up. Do something with your life. Don't shut your shit down for nobody. Don't do that shit. Pursue your dreams. Flat out. Pursue your fucking dreams. We should push our women to pursue their dreams. We don't live in the old times anymore. We got to fix this fucking problem. And like I said, I support women because I used to be a part of the problem. Watching all those TV shows growing up made me really believe I was programmed by the TV to think that this is the way that life is supposed to be. Nah, that shit ain't real. You can even go back to those little Hollywood homes, the Hollywood shows with those females on there. I see them take so much fucking abuse from these dudes that just be fucking them over, and they just let it keep on happening to them just because the man is a provider. You just let him do whatever the fuck he want to do to you. You think that's okay? No, that shit is not okay, man. Don't be a fucking slave to men. Do not be a slave to men. Get out here and get a life for yourself. Do something for yourself. You know, like if you got a dream, pursue it, man. Like, you know, Willie D talking about we need to get back to being providers. Hey, G, I like everything about you, everything you do. Pause. But you need to chill on that, bruh. Chill on that shit. Chill out on the whole men need to get back to being provider shit. Because at the end of the day, you're telling us to go out here and be providers. What are you telling the women to do? What do you suggest they do? Wait for a provider to come along? So they need to just go on autopilot and just hold on because I know a provider is coming. Even though women outweigh men. Well, women outweigh men by a lot. It's a nice little gap. The ratio of men to women on this planet. But you want them to sit back and wait for a provider to come along. Why the fuck you think a lot of these women in the position that they in now? Because they think somebody's coming to fucking save them. No, nobody's coming to save you. Get out there and get it for yourself and save yourself. Flat out, save yourself. Get out there and do something for yourself. And I'm not saying that I'm in support of women not fucking with men no more. That's not what this is about. What this is about is women having the same opportunities as men and not being a slave to whatever the fuck we want them to be. Flat out. And I'm not going to go on and on with this, but that's going to wrap up this episode of Let's Talk Podcast. Honestly, I got some major things coming up. I'm a little tired today, but I got some major things coming up. So I was sitting back thinking about, you know, the whole direction that I want this podcast to go in. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start, I'm going to try a test run of a Zoom, like a partial Zoom type of podcast setup deal. And I'm going to see how that works because I actually want to get one of my guys on here that I want to talk to about a few different things. And I want to square off a little bit of shit that's been going on over the years. You know, like I'm in this mode now where I'm trying to fix a few different things in life instead of letting shit linger on with people. You know, we got to get back to healing, and we need to get past a lot of this dumbass shit that we get caught up in with people. So that's going to be coming up pretty soon on the podcast. Please like this video, like I said, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for your support. Please smash that like button. Please turn on that bell notification as well so that you will be notified when I do post another video, when I go live, or whatever I post on the channel, you will be notified. All of my social media info is down below, so please look at the description of the video. Please go to all my social media platforms and follow me on there. You know, drop some comments. You know, let me know what you think about the video and what you think about the actual podcast. So, again, I appreciate everybody. Thank you for, you know, everything. Thank you for your support. And that's a wrap. So I'll see y'all in the next time. I'll see you when I see you, man. Peace.